Fire up, way back machines. Relive the classic video gaming scene. Sit down, enjoy the classic, cook some memories, courtesy of video game history.
Nothing reminds you of Thanksgivings of the past like getting together, eating 5 pounds of turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy, then sitting on the couch and playing old video games. Pretty much because that's exactly what you did when you were younger. Aren't the holidays great? Let's all get together and then ignore each other. Duck Hunt is an NES classic. The game came out in 1984 in Japan, but the NES wasn't even available yet in the United States, so it came out as a launch title a year later in '85. The most common version of this game was a bundled 2-in-1 with both Duck Hunt and Super Mario Bros. That came with the Nintendo. Because of that reason, there's almost nobody on the planet that hasn't come into contact with this game. It was one of the few games, if not the only game, that some kids had access to. And it was also extremely memorable due to the fact that you used the light gun. Ah, the NES light gun, or the Zapper, made famous with such games as Duck Hunt, Wild Gunman, and Hogan's Alley. In nerd terms, the light gun is referred to as a peripheral, an additional piece of hardware that was required for specific games. Throughout the years, Nintendo would release many peripherals or accessories, but none were as widely used as the light gun. Using the light gun or the Zapper made Duck Hunt feel different from other games. You weren't controlling a character on screen. You were the character. This has always been the philosophy of Nintendo. They want you to be an active participant rather than a passive couch potato, which of course is the exact opposite of what the player wants. Listen, if we wanted to do these things for real, we would just go outside and actually do these things. Taking up my boob tube time and trying to make me actually exercise is a fatal sin, and the entire reason why I never bought a Wii. Duck Hunt's gameplay was simple. Hunt ducks. Your dog would scare up some ducks and you would shoot them out of the sky, and then the faithful pup goes and collects. Well, that's when the game is going well. However, this game has a dark side. As you progress through each level, the duck's speed increases, making the game harder. Soon, you will be missing all of the ducks and greeted by a maniacal laughing dog. By the way, the gall that this dog has to laugh at a hunter holding a loaded gun, well, that's just bravery. The only thing more annoying than missing all of the ducks is having that stupid dog laugh at you. Of all the millions of people that have ever played Duck Hunt, they all have one thing in common. They've tried in vain to shoot that stupid dog. Of course, the game would never let you actually harm the dog. Shooting ducks is perfectly okay, but not dogs. That's where we draw the line. You know, I actually heard that there was a code back when I was a kid that you could put in that would allow you to shoot the dog, but it turned out to be not true. Just chalk it up to one of those urban legends, I guess, in video game history. But what if I told you there was a way to shoot the dog? Alright, here it is. Duck Hunt was also released as an arcade port titled Versus Duck Hunt on the old school PlayChoice 10. This game was unique because it offered a simultaneous 2-player mode in which 2 people could shoot ducks at the same time and compete against each other. It was mostly identical to the NES version in every other capacity, except for one significant difference. The game offered a bonus stage after every second level in which the player would shoot as many ducks as possible for points. But every now and then, the dog would also jump around, putting himself in the line of fire. Now this was a particularly dangerous decision, considering how most of us felt towards this particular pooch. Guess who I'm aiming for? Of course the dog survives, gives you a stern warning, and then the bonus stage immediately ends. The game finally gives you the chance to actually pull the trigger and put down that dog, and you lose points for it. God, Nintendo is sadistic. Now we all have our own feelings about Duck Hunt. It's one of those nostalgic games that everybody's played, and it's always ranking consistently high on the best of Nintendo lists. But critics were actually pretty hard on it when it first came out. One critic said the game was an attractive but repetitive target shooter and utterly mindless. The game is fun for a short time but gets old after a few rounds of play. You could literally cut and paste that review on almost every single Nintendo game ever made, and it would be accurate. But isn't that kind of the point? I mean, video games aren't supposed to entertain us for long periods of time. We shouldn't be wasting our lives in front of a TV with a controller on our lap. I think the size and scope of all of these games that are coming out today is way too big and immersive. We should go back to the old days, where video games were either fun for 10 minutes or would make you rage quit after an hour. Then you could go back to hanging out with your family during the holidays. Or put another game in.